the dignitaries, my co-facilitators for this event, and all the youth. I greet you all. Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to stand before you today to speak about something that is pertinent, and I want to start by appreciating or recognizing Garang and his team for taking time to organize this. This is a very important skill that I believe all youth need to acquire. Why do I say so? It's because as youth, our voices are our power. We change, we move, and we cause action through the voice of reason by challenging things, and all those come from the voices within. Today I'm going to be speaking about confident voices, presence, and power in communication. I want to start by giving examples of prominent leaders that we have had in Africa. And I want us to ask ourselves, what was common in each of these people? Nelson Mandela. On the 18th of July, we're commemorating Nelson Mandela and his legacy. What did we see? Nelson Mandela, as a young person then, believed in himself, believed that apartheid was not the cause or was not the best thing for the people in South Africa. He rallied the young people, the young men, the young women in South Africa. How did he do it? The power of the voice. He spoke, he inspired, he caused dissatisfaction amongst people in his community in South Africa, and they all stood up to speak against apartheid. Number two, Kwame Nkrumah, the same thing. We believe that he's the father of Pan-Africanism. Kwame Nkrumah led the people in Ghana to stand up against the white colonialism. Kenyatta in Kenya, the same. Now I'll go to the US. Martin Luther King. What was unique about each of these people? It was communication. It was their voice. They stood as the voices of reason in their communities to challenge any form of racism, to challenge apartheid, to challenge colonial rule. I'll come to the most recent one, and that is Barack Obama. In 2008, when Barack Obama first stood up to speak before a congregation of people, that was before his election, should have been in 2009. When he spoke, he touched the hearts of people. He communicated to them, and they felt that they connected with him. They felt he was the best leader to lead them. And because of the power of his voice, because he connected with the public, they all entrusted him with their vote. And going forward, over time I have seen people commenting, the best leader in America, the best leader in America. I don't know if that is true, but one thing for sure that I can say, aside from being a powerful orator, Obama was he connected with his audiences. So when we speak of connection, what exactly do we mean? What does it mean to have a confident voice or presence and power in our communication? For me, I don't know how you may interpret it, but for me, it's about understanding your audience. Being able to speak to the heart of the audience. Being able to convey a message that your audience is not only going to hear, but they will understand. And so that means clarity, that means presentation, and that means spoken word that audience actually understands. I have here a quote from Angelo Maya. She's quoted to have said, "People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel." Do we agree that from speech we evoke emotions of people? Do we agree? Yes. From speech we evoke emotions of people. Why do I say this? For those who have done history, when we look at the fall of the French Revolution, or part of the causes of the French Revolution, we have a powerful lady that is mentioned, and that is Marie Antoinette. What is said about Marie Antoinette? She said, if they can't afford bread, let them buy and eat cakes. What did that do? It evoked the emotions of people and it angered them. And so in the same way, when we speak to people, understanding the society that you're going to, understanding your audience is key to being able to communicate reasonably and to be able to convey a message that the audience appreciates. And so that is what Maya Angelou, for me, is talking about. That there is an impact, or there is an emotional connection, an authentic presence in communication. In the words that you say, your audience is able to connect with you. And in the words that you say, they feel your authenticity. If I stood here before you and I regurgitated somebody's communication, you'd be able to tell that this is not an authentic presentation. It is something that she is copying from someone else. And so, confident voices is about wearing your own skin and being able to speak or to say things that are flowing from your heart out of passion. Identifying causes that every other person in that audience that you're speaking to resonates with, and they can be able to appreciate. So it's about pathos, logos, yeah, and ethos. Pathos, evoking the emotions in people as you speak. That is a confident voice. And being able to give facts as they are, not coming to an audience and you're lying to them about different aspects. And through communication, because of your presence, because of your message, then many times you'll be able to leave a lasting impression. I remember sometime in 2017, my team and I hosted a delegation from the European Union. And this delegation had visited different organizations. They wanted to see what work were the organizations doing, or how are they even relating with the different communities. That particular experience taught me the power of authenticity and taught me the power of presence. When these EU people had visited everywhere, then they then came to where we were, and it was our turn to speak. At the time of preparation, we kept asking ourselves, what are we going to speak about to the EU delegation? Because we're not the topmost officials in our organization. So when the EU delegation came, I stood up and I spoke about property rights of women. I remember narrating to them cases that we had handled, a case of particularly a woman that had been thrown out of her home because of her gender. She's a woman and she cannot inherit property. And so the actions that we had taken and also and so forth and so forth. And so at the end of our conversations and all that, the EU delegation was moved. They were touched emotionally. Why? Because we used the human faces. We used the narrative of people that were going through the pains and all that. And by the end of it all, the organization that we represented was chosen for a particular funding. And so that speaks to the power of presence, being able to connect with people that you're speaking to. So this is just an invitation to treat for those that will be participating in the program. I've given 10 minutes, and I think, yeah, so this is an invitation to treat, just to give you a tip of the iceberg, to show you what is going to happen over the next period of days. I will be among the facilitators that will be taking us through, and I would like to invite you all to continue participating and to engage in this. Thank you so much. If you're to walk out of this thing remembering one thing, remember that you are the voice of reason.